There are lots of ways to protect yourself from the sun, some with sunscreens and some the old-fashioned way. The older I get, the more I realize that our mothers and our grandmothers knew a thing or two. This occurred to me many times, but one of the times it really hit home was when I started having hot flashes. I understood the fan. This led to other revelations like hats, gloves, parasols. All of those things were a part of fashion, but they were really there to help protect ladies' skin from the sun. And I really like to use them as part of my sun protection. By the way, I wanted to make this video out in the garden since we're talking about sunscreen, and I really wanted to make it with this view and kind of show you the pretty garden. But I've got some plants, and believe me, I'm thrilled, that are just humming with bees, and every time I come out, they dive bomb me, and or they're probably being territorial, but anyways, if I flinch, it's probably I'm being dive bombed by a bee. Hats, of course, hats. My husband makes fun of me because I have so many hats, but honestly, I am working on a hat wardrobe. I'll share a few of the ones that I have, but I am missing some hats. I think that a good hat wardrobe would have a light color and a dark color, kind of lightweight, a packable hat, and a sporty hat at the very least. Here's a few of mine. I have my little, I love this guy. It's just kind of a beige hat, and I wear it with a lot of things. It is a little bit more, what do I want to say? Not masculine, but it has this kind of a pinch grip on the top. So it's a little bit, less feminine, but I think it's cute and it goes with a lot of things. I just bought this one, which I think is kind of adorable for something a little bit more feminine. It's got a little tie on it. I'd love to get a white one, and I'd love to have a black one. This is the hat that I use when I'm wearing black, and it works too. It's not quite as wide of a brim, but I love it, and it works great. I like the wider brim hats. I like to cover up as much as possible. I don't really wear, there they are, baseball caps a whole lot unless it's very early in the morning, because these are really, I think, designed to keep sun out of your eyes. I had this on my 5-year-old granddaughter, so it's way too small. But these are mostly there to keep the sun out of your eyes, and they don't protect, this part of your face. So I don't wear the baseball cap often. And this kind of thing I own, but honestly, I'm gonna give this away. I'll tell you, one of the places that I got a basal cell carcinoma was on the top of my head, like right here. I can still feel it. It's like I've got like a little bird feeder up there. And it was uncomfortable because it's hard to have stitches in the top of your head because gravity is pulling down. So you need to protect your scalp too, and your hair part. And on that note, I'm just not the kind of person who's gonna glop my hair up with sunscreen. I already feel so sticky all summer long because of all the sunscreen that I have on. And that's why I do like some of these more physical barriers to kind of supplement my sunscreen routine. So for a sporty hat, that's something I'm kind of missing, and I've been struggling with it. I wear my hiking hats, but they don't really look good. I have trouble with looking goofy, right? I have a tendency to just throw things on if I'm not in a formal situation like work or out to dinner or something. I will just throw things on and look goofy, and I'm really trying hard not to do that. So I need a good sport hat. I bought this one thinking this one was going to be good, but I don't like it because it's too floppy and I can't see anything. So, note to self, if you're in the market, this doesn't do a whole lot for me. Because it's too floppy and it's in my vision, I don't like it. So I'm still on the market for a good sport hat that I think looks halfway decent and that I like to wear. I also think it's important to have a packable hat, and I just got this one. This is from Scala, and this is a UPF 50. And I like it. I think it's kind of cute, and you can just pack it flat. You don't have to worry about it. And another favorite hat that I have is this one from a dear friend of mine. Is that adorable? Look at the underside. And it really covers your face. So hats are important. Get them, invest in them. They don't even have to be expensive. They just need to shade your face, hopefully your neck, and hopefully your chest. Speaking of your neck and chest, those are areas that can really show our age, and it's important to cover them. Now, ideally, you would wear a dark material. I'm going to get into that a little bit later, you know, that comes up high to just cover it up. And that works well. For me, when it's hot, I mean, it can get, you know, 100 here for a number of days during the summer. I really like to feel freer than that, you know, just so I can get some airflow going. So I do like to have scarves. And this little guy, I love a bandana. I mean, bandana, what a useful square piece of cloth a bandana is. You can just do so many things with it. And incidentally, I just looked before making this video on Amazon. There are plain colors, and that's what I'm going to invest in this year, just some plain colored bandanas, because you can just, you know, you can just wrap them around. They're so easy. You can do so many things with them. You can just wrap it around there, and it's loose, you know, it's not real tight. You can still get some airflow. If you're in the car, because that is a place where we get a lot of sun exposure, I'm going to talk about that. You know, you can kind of, you know, pull it up if you need to, kind of, you know, to protect one side. If you start getting too warm, you know, you can kind of pull it to the side and get some air. I usually wear a bandana when I'm hiking in the summer, and I just find them to be so useful. I mean, look, they kind of stand up, and you can really get some good sun protection. And you can also make them actually look cute. Once again, my tendency to look goofy. But you can also, you know, you can just fold them up. Even if you just kind of tied it around your neck like this, obviously a plain color. This doesn't go with this particular top, but I don't have a plain color yet. You know, or you could clasp it with a little brooch or something. You know, you can make it look a little bit cuter. And you're still protecting your neck, you know, and if you adjust it a little bit, you can get some sun, some chest protection as well. I think this is a good time to talk about the sun protection of fabrics, because that is a way that I protect my skin a lot from the sun. Again, because I think it's good to stop the sun from actually hitting your skin. I don't know if that's true. I just feel like it is. But also because of the sticky sunscreen all the time. I mean, I usually have sunscreen on, but to constantly being applying it, I just would rather kind of cover up. So I was looking up to make this video about the sun protection of fabrics. I am someone who doesn't really like the feel of the UV protective fabrics. They're just too not breathable for me, and I don't enjoy them. I'm someone who normally wears like a white shirt as a cover-up. So when I looked this up, lighter fabrics have less sun protection. If you really want good sun protection, you will wear a dark fabric with a close weave. So that's going to be great at protecting you from the sun. It's also kind of hot though, so I probably wouldn't wear a lot of dark colors if I was actually going to be in the sun. So this is my favorite sun shirt, and I just got it at Marshall's. It's got a little waffle weave on it, which is great because it doesn't show a lot of wrinkles, because I'm just throwing this on. And a white shirt like this is somewhere around 5, like an SPF of 5 to 7, which isn't a lot. But if you're not going to be in the sun for a long time, I think it can be somewhat protective. Just don't fool yourself that, you know, if you're going to be out in a lot of sun, you really should have a sunscreen on underneath this white shirt, especially if you have a more fair skin tone. But like with some sunscreen on, and then just to kind of keep that sun off of me, I will wear just a nice white shirt, and it's kind of breezy. I can, if I feel like the sun's really beating on my neck, you know, I can button up a top button and even flip the collar up, you know, if I feel like I'm just getting too much sun. And once again, here I am, propensity to dress goofy. Maybe I'll make another video. I'll get some sunsets. I think that's what I need to get, some sunsets. In other words, a hat, a scarf, and some kind of overshirt that matches and actually goes well together. But what I usually wear is like this and this. You know, I think it's okay. You know, just a white shirt and a beige hat. But so some sun protection, not a lot. Again, it depends. If it's in the middle of the day during summer and you are somewhere that's closer to the equator, it's probably not going to give you enough protection. But if it's earlier in the day, maybe it's springtime, maybe you have a darker skin tone, this could be enough. There's just a lot of variables. On that note, the sun is strongest between 10 a.m. and 2 in the afternoon. So if you can, avoid those times of being right out in the sun, then that's going to be best. And I do think that some sun is healthy. I think we need some sun. Talk to your dermatologist about that. You know, I'm not a doctor. I just know I feel better if I'm getting a little bit of sun. So what I try to do is go really early in the morning or later at night, or again, get out there, but I've got my white shirt on and I've got some sunscreen on. Another thing that I will do, especially if I'm wearing a dress or something prettier, is bring a lightweight scarf like this. Now this is a very light color and it's a very open weave, so this is not going to give me a lot of sun protection. I would need to have sunscreen on, but I can still put it on. It's lightweight. I can even double it up a little bit and I can get that sun off my shoulders and still be relatively cool. Another place I'm really trying to pay attention to lately are my hands. I am really starting to see some sunspots on my hands, so I'm really trying to protect them. Hands are particularly tough though because we're always washing them, so we're washing the sunscreen off, especially if we're away from home and we're out in public. You know, I take every opportunity to wash my hands. So I picked up some gloves, and these are driving gloves because, as I mentioned before, a place I notice I get a lot of sun is in the car, especially driving, right? My hands are up here, the sun's beating on them. So I went on Amazon and I really like these little fingerless gloves. There are some other colors. This one came in a pack of 2. It came in this light color and these gray ones. I will link them below. They are cotton. They're easy to put on. They have like a rubbery texture right here, which is great. I like driving in them. And then a very breathable texture here, and then the sun protection for the back. So I can still drive the car. I can use my phone when I need it, not when driving, obviously, but my fingertips are free for when I do need to use the phone. And I just keep these in my car, and I'm really, really happy with them. They were not expensive, and I can tell that by the end of the summer they may be worn out. So I would love to find a company that really makes beautiful gloves, because I do love gloves. In addition to sun protection, I just think they're beautiful. I mean, hats and gloves can be really gorgeous fashion statements, and scarves too, for that matter. I also got some longer ones. I particularly love long gloves, just any gloves. I think they're really pretty. I'd like to start wearing them because I think they're beautiful, and you know, part of my thing is I'm almost 61 years old. I want to wear what I want. So anyhow, I don't love these as much. I really wanted something that would protect my forearms too, but they're always too tight for me. And I feel like, you know, I'm not a very big person. This should not be hard to get on, but they kind of are. You know, they're not super comfy, and I'm a comfort gal. And I'm not sure that I love this little detail here. I don't know if I'm going to keep these. They also came in this gray color, which I almost like better. But, you know, if I could find a pair that I could slip on and off easily and felt comfy, I'd love a long pair, because again, especially while driving in the car, this part of me, mostly on this side, but this side too, like if I'm a passenger, it's just always getting baked by the sun. So I keep mentioning the car. That is a place that I really notice so much sun exposure. And another thing that I have done for years and years, this little guy, this is a, you know, it's a scarf, it's a long scarf. It has a very light weave and color, but I use it doubled up. And this guy has been in my car for, I don't know, 5 years, 7 years. I mean, it just rolled, you know, I actually have a basket in where I can reach it that I have stuff in, and this lives in there. And I love it because I just kind of go, I mean, you know, I'll just throw it on like this, and it's lightweight and I can move it around to whatever's getting the sun. I notice my neck is always just getting beat on by the sun, also because I'm short, so the visor, it doesn't really come very down. The shade doesn't come that far down on my neck. So I can just take this and kind of, you know, put it like this, or put it like this if I'm on the passenger side. So just a simple scarf like this in the car, available to you when you need it, can really help protect you from the sun. Now I've been like trying to figure out a good way to protect like this part of my face from the sun, because it is, you know, it's a little tough. Like I'm always kind of adjusting and, you know, trying to get this up on my face. I haven't figured it out yet. Bandana kind of works. I've used something like this, you know, like this. Anyway, you know, I'd love to find or invent something that was really, you know, not crazy looking, but that worked. I saw this and I bought it, but this is going to go back. I won't use it, but there could be some situations where you might need this or want to use something like this. Just know it's out there. This has a Velcro closure at the back, and what you do, it's got a little place for your nose, but you go like this, right? I mean, it's kind of cool, but yeah, and then you're supposed to put it like this. This isn't going to work for me. I'm never going to wear this. I'm just not going to. So I am going to return it. But if for some reason you are going to really be getting some serious sun exposure on your face and you're worried about it, there are products like this on Amazon, and I'm sure other places too, REI and sporting good places. Well, that's what I have today. I just kind of wanted to sing some praises of some of the more old-fashioned ways to protect your skin from the sun and share some of my favorites with you. If you have any favorite ways to protect your skin from the sun, please leave me a comment below, and I hope you have a beautiful day.